Hello friends, I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video we are going to plant stuff, okay? So I've been walking around the garden and looking at different spots where I want to remove some plants, so I'm gonna be sharing that with you today. Now is the perfect time to plant your plants. Yes, fall is the perfect time to plant because it's not hot like summer and the plants will not stress as if you planted them in the hot summer months. Anyways, do you know what this is? Yes, tell me. I found it, friends, my wish list plant. I found my double play candy corn spirea. Oh my goodness, I found it and I thought it was a good price. I just had to get it. So you guys know I love clearance plant. That is how I curated this beautiful garden, right? All these plants, 99% of my plants are from the clearance section. Anyway, so I finally found it and I had to get it, but I've been searching for it and I didn't find it, and I found it at this local private garden center. And strangely, friends, I thought it was well priced because I don't pay full price unless it's something unique. Guess how much I paid for this? And mind you, it's 3 gallons, right? And it comes with 90-day guarantee. You get your money back or 50% back up to a year. So I thought that was a good deal, right? Anyway, so I found this for $36.99. Look at that. I was in shock. Normally at Lowe's they were $29.99 and maybe they were 2 gallons. So this was $36.99 and it was 3 gallons, and I thought it was a great price. I really thought so. I did see it at a different garden center, private garden center, for $60, and I'm like, no way, I just could not do $60. When I found this for $36.99, I just had to get it. So friends, let me tell you about spirea if you don't know about them, okay? They're beautiful to have in a garden. They're very compact growing. Let me see if I can pull this out. So this one is like a candy corn. The color changes. Look at that. So it says this spirea is an easy care way to brighten your landscape. Needs very little maintenance as it naturally takes on a neat and tidy habit. That is why I love spirea. They give you a lot of colors and they do bloom flowers, which the pollinators love. They love the flowers, but I grow them for the foliage, but the flowers are really pretty too. So this one will get 1.5 to 2.5 feet tall and wide. And it says right there, the features colorful foliage, petite shrub, and durable. The seasons of interest are spring and summer, and I'm gonna put fall in there, right? It's fall and a color changes. I'm not sure why they don't have fall in there, but look at that, friends, so pretty. Love it. I'm gonna put it behind here. Behind it is morning sun, so I thought of putting it over here. And here I have another one. This one is a double play spirea. I did prefer the lighter foliage spirea. I think the doozy plays, they're more of the darker foliage. I do have one in the front, but I prefer the double play spirea. Look at that, isn't it pretty? I was thinking of putting it here, but I don't know. I'm definitely gonna be moving these to hosta, and then I have a nandina in the front I'm gonna share with you. Let's see where I can put this, and then we're gonna go through the other plants I have to plant. So right here is my white bleeding heart. Do you see that? And I do have daffodils in between there, so I just put this coleus there. Okay, it looks weird, right? But I don't want to plant anything here because everything is here. Okay, so we have the bleeding heart, which will give us that spring, early summer blooms, and a lot of daffodil in here. So I can't really dig too much and put anything here except these two guys. For the last couple of years I've been saying I want to move these hosta. They do very well here. They don't get sunburn or anything. They do really well here. But you know what, I feel like I prefer to have a real plant. Not hosta's not real. Don't get me wrong. I prefer to have a plant taking up my space here than hosta. Over there I have my hosta lane all the way over there where I just tuck my hostas in there, right? So I'm definitely gonna put a plant here and dig out these two. And friend, it's supposed to be raining in the next 20 minutes. So I'm seeing if I could get this done because I love to plant and I love when the rain waters my plant. The best way to water plants, and not to mention it's been so dry here. Look at the grass. Do you see that? Really dry. So let's go to the front and let me see what is what and where am I gonna put this candy corn, behind here or in the front. Friends, I changed my mind. Behind us, well, where I was standing before, I'm creating 2 beds, so I am making a video with that for you. But guess what I thought to myself? The spot I wanted to put it in the front, I don't see that spot unless I go in the garden in the front. You know how much candy corn spirey is one of my favorites. So right here I'm standing is my dining area, right? This is my dining area. All right, right here, this is the door. So I love to look outside and I want to see it. Okay, so I figure why not put it where I can see it than where I can't see it, right? I don't want to walk all the way in the front to see the candy corn. It doesn't make any sense in my opinion. So we're gonna reserve the spot for the Nandina, and then we're gonna put the candy corn spirey over here where I'm making 2 new beds, which I'll feature in another video for you. All right, friends, here is the hole. And friends, it's so dry. This is what I use to get my holes done. Yes, the pick. So it's there. So let's go ahead and take this out, and I'll show you what the root ball looks like, and then we'll put it in the ground. All right, friends, look at that. Okay, so it's not that root bound. The roots are very tiny, as you can see, and the plant is looking very, very healthy. So let me take it from here, and what I like to do is just to gently break up the roots, but this one doesn't need that much of it because, as I said, the roots are very fine. They're not thick and root bound. So let's put this baby in the hole. All right, friends, and then look at this. I was blessed. My neighbor next door, she has a lot of hellebore lenten rose, and she offered me some, so I dug them out. Look at that. These plants are so expensive. Oh my goodness, they're like $30, and whenever you see them in the garden center, they're never on clearance. Okay, never. And normally they probably might just get a couple in, right? They don't get a lot of them, and they're never on sale or even on clearance, and they're like $35 rose, which I refuse to spend for a lenten rose. Maybe if it was like a shrub or something. So anyway, so come with me and let's go over to, we're going over here, we're going to the woodlands area, and I'm gonna put them in there. Let's make a stop here. Look at the beautiful Eden rose. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. And look at the growth that it put on for the year, friends. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so excited about that. So let's go over here and find some spots where we can put the lenten rose. I'm really excited about this. Let's see, I have a few in the garden that I got from other people before, so let me find a spot here. For example, here's one right there. All right, friends, I found a spot here in front of the hydrangea. That's a new one I planted last month, I think. And here's another spot here. I have to come in here and clean up this entire mess here and cut down some of these hostas. So anyway, so let's get these hellebore in the ground. Super excited about them. All right, friends, make the hole a little bigger. All right, and I was able to break off piece from this. I can divide this, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Super excited about this. So this one is in, and here's the other piece I cut off from that one, and then this one I'm gonna plant like this. This one has the foliage on there. Oh my goodness, the bugs are out over here. Friends, if you have plants to plant, whatever you have to do in your garden, get out and do it now. I'm in zone 6B7A, and it's really hot here, but other times it's cool, right? It's hot where it's just dry, there's no rain. And you know, fall is here. The leaves have been falling from the tree. So fall is definitely here. And you know, when it gets cold here. It really does. So I'm trying to do little by little as I can. and just get whatever planting I need to get done in the ground and just be done with it, because it adds up, right? I have a lot to get done. So let's find a spot to put this other one in. Let's see, next to this beautiful long wart. They're great for the shade garden, or like if you have a woodland area, but I call over here my woodlands lane. They're great for that too, but they definitely like the shade. So these are in. Let's move on to the other plants. All right, friends, so we're in the front, and I don't want to cut these. I really don't want to, but every year I've been seeing it, because look at that. This how it grows messy like that. Those are snapdragons. No clue why they grow looking like that, but they're covering other plants in here. So what I'm gonna do is just to take some of the seeds, right, and I could just put them in the cut flower garden. But I'm gonna cut these where I could probably make bouquets from these blooms here. Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to. I know I need to. And then we're gonna put this beautiful Nandina in here. This will get 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, and look how pretty it is. And this one is the Gulf Stream Nandina. I love Nandina. So this will be giving me winter interest, and it should be evergreen. So at least I have something to look at there, and not this messy stuff. I don't like when my garden look messy like that. I don't like it. So I'm going to take it out. I don't want to, but I'm going to. I have seeds at least I can put in the cut flower garden. And then I'm going to put this beautiful Nandina in there. Look at that. It's so pretty. I love these, and they do really good in my garden. Just love them. And when I planted this, friends, I think what happened is that it reseeded, and that's why I have more plants, because I think I probably planted 1 or 2 here. But look at all the different colors here. So I don't know, but it has done a great job for me, and they always say thank you plant. All right, friends, just as I thought, it was only 3 plants. I got 2 roots out, 1, 2, and here's the 3rd one. It was 3 plants, and look at this. Look at the roots on these snapdragons. Can't believe it. I'm not even done as yet, friends, but look at the difference there. Do you see that? And then this guy here, I want to take it out. I'm not going to now. I'll wait until spring to take it out, and I'll show you why. Look, do you see it here? Yep, it's covering my boxwood. It's covering a peony behind there, and I show you guys before. It smothered my rose, so to speak. See that? It got bigger this year, and look at that. This thing is just huge. It's massive. So that I'm definitely will taking out, and I just love it. I love the colors. I love what it looks like, but it has to go in the back where it can spread out. So always telling you guys about these hardy hibiscus. Put them where they can spread out. Do not put them amongst your plant. If you do, put them to an end. Let me show you over here, like I did here. So this is one of them in the pollinator garden bed, and I have it just at the end only. Do you see that? So it's not taking over anything. Anyways, let me get back to this, because friends, it is dark. I might have to pick back up with you tomorrow. All right, friends, so it's the next day, and look at this. So I took out the snapdragons, and look at the space. It looks so much better. Sit here, there's a plant in your garden and you don't like how it's performing, just move it. So I did take seeds from the snapdragons. I'll be doing them in the cut flower bed. But anyway, so let me go in here and dig the hole for this beautiful Nandina. I have bulbs in here, so I have to be careful, but I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this. And then on a side note, friends, my liatris, I leave them up for the birds, right, because they provide good winter source food for the birds, but they've been receding. Yes, they've been receding. I'll put a picture on for you that I took out. All those are reseeded. I got a ton of plants from them. I'm gonna give to a friend. So unfortunately, I have to come down here. See this? To seeds. Yes, I have to come in here and trim this back, because all these seeds are gonna give me a lot more baby plants. However, my pollinators, my birds, they have the pollinator garden bed, especially the echinacea, to give them food for the winter. I feel bad doing this, but I'm just gonna do it. Let me see. If you look underneath here, right there, that's one there. And the good thing about it, friends, when I pull them out, I'll see if I could find any more. There's bulbs at the bottom. Yes, there's calms at the bottom, I should say. I couldn't believe that. Nice, good calm. So I give them to someone who loves Leatrice, and she'll get more to put in her garden. But anyways, let's go over here and get this plant in the ground. Do you have your shoes digging your holes and you have rocks like this in the ground? This is your friend. This pick here, oh my goodness, it is amazing, friends. See that? A lot of rocks over here, but I use this pick and it works really well. All right, friends, and these are some lupines I started with you later in the summer. Here they are. So we're gonna put them in the front here. I haven't seen any slugs in the front garden bed. They're in the back, definitely. So that's why I'm choosing to put my lupine in the front. So let me get some more dirt and put that on top. So I'm planting the lupine just as it was in the container. It reminds me of a strawberry. Just plant it as is. The ground is so dry. Oh my goodness, look at that. Guess what I found at Lowe's? I just came back from Lowe's and they have a Mr. Bowling Ball Arborvitae on clearance. They had a ton of them, but this one looked the best and I love these. So I did pick up one of this. It says it needs full sun. I have a ton in the garden and they'll only get 24 to 36 inches tall and wide, and they're non-hardy from zones 1 to 4, and these are evergreen, so they stay just like this. They don't change color in the winter. So I may put these in my other bed I'm creating, but look what I want to show you, what I found. This is the Perfecto Mundo double pink reblooming azalea from Proven Winners. Yes, and it says this azalea is an oasis of bright pink blooms in spring, summer and fall. So we have 3 seasons of interest. This double azalea has an appealing rounded habit and soft lush foliage. It says it prefers full sun or 4 to 6 hours of sun. So behind here I get part sun, and it says it's reblooming, and here it says it's evergreen, right? So there you go, my winter interest, which I thought was weird. They didn't select winter here, but it says it's evergreen, so whatever. And it's a spring beauty, blooms spring, summer and fall, but it also gave you winter interest where it stays evergreen. So that's what I'm assuming from the tag. We'll see. It's hardy from zone 6B through 9. I'm in zone 6B. Technically I'm in zone 7A, but my old zone was 6B. Anyway, so look at this, and the reason why I decided to pick this up, besides it's being on clearance, right? Not every plant in clearance I pick up, but I do my research. I do not have one of this in the garden. I have azalea, but the side they came with the house. So the reason why I'm deciding to put it behind here in Landina is because it will give me spring, summer and fall blooms. So I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm gonna take out these 2 hostas. So this will be a nice area for it to get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide right here after I take out these 2. And in here is a white bleeding heart, which you say cut it down, but I think they will do well together. Here the white with a nice soft feminine pink. I think they will do well here. So we got rain, so the ground is softer for me to dig these out. So I'm gonna dig these out, and I don't know, put them somewhere over there. I've been asking people if they want hostas, and I'm getting, nope, I'm good on hostas. But I like these, so I really do. So I'll find somewhere to tuck them in over there. You cannot kill hostas at all, but I prefer to have a plant that gives me different seasons of interest than hosta over here taking up my special space here. Anyways, I have to be careful not to damage my Montauk daisy. Just starting to open up for me here. So let's dig out the hostas. This plant is a hellebore right behind there. So I think the blooms on there is white, I think. Alrighty, so let's get this in the ground. I cut back the foliage, otherwise I probably would have messed this up. I've had this lupine in here for a few years now and it does well for me, so I just want to be careful not to disturb it right there. So I'm going to take my time and see if I could dig this out without disturbing the lupine. And with the lupine, friends, it's going to grow really nice next to the pink because this lupine is a purple, right? It's going to look so pretty next to it coming out from here. But anyway, so let me get this out of the ground. And this also, I'm thinking of putting Mr. Bowling Ball arborvitae right here because that will get 24 to 30 inches, and then this one will get up to 3 feet taller. So I'll put the azalea in the back and the arborvitae in the front. Let's see how that will look. So I don't know if you like me, but when I'm placing a plant, it takes me forever. Okay, forever. So I was back and forth if I should put the Mr. Bowling Ball arborvitae with the azalea, and I'm gonna change my mind because they're gonna grow almost same height. This will be 2 to 3 feet tall. Mr. Bowling Ball arborvitae will be 24 to 30 inches tall and wide. So I feel like they're gonna look too close. And they always say with your garden you need layering and different height and all of that. So we're gonna go back to our peach Nandina. This will get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. But I wanted to show this to you. I went and I tried taking this out of the container. Look at this. Look how it came out. Normally it should have a root ball, right? But look at that. I'm telling you, sometimes I don't know, but I think it will do fine because the roots are looking very healthy, right? So we're gonna put that in the very back and then put the azalea in the front, and I'll show you what it looks like after. And you can always add bulbs in between the space, right, for continuous blooms. All right, friends, and I have an afterthought because in this area I have a lot of daffodils, right? And I already put the ground back nicely and everything like that, but I had a Ziploc bag with some daffodils, and I think my sweet neighbor friend gave them to me in spring because they're supposed to be specialty daffodils. So I had them waiting to plant them in fall, which is now, and they're huge. Look at this. I think I have 6 of them in here. So because I know which spot I don't have daffodils, because obviously I just dug out this entire spot and there's no daffodils there, I'm going to tuck some daffodils maybe right here for that spring bloom. So that's the thought that just came to me. So let me dig the hole again right here and tuck these bulbs in there right now. Just get it out the way, right, and just be done with it. All right, friends, it's been a week since I've planted the hellebores over here. Let me show you this, friends. They have put on some new growth. Look at that. Amazing. And here's the other one there. And then let's go on down here and I'll show you the third one. And then here's the third one. Look at the growth on here. See that? Amazing. Love it. And let me show you the other plants that we planted. And here's my favorite, the candy corn spirea. So right behind me and in front of me, I'm making 2 new beds. I'm editing the video and I'll share that with you very soon. Remember, we are planting, right? Now it's fall, we're planting, we're moving plants. We're just doing a lot to the garden right now. So look at my spirea, and I want one more of this, friends. One more. Look at it, doing very well. And you know what, let me show you this. When I was planting this, some of the branches broke off, and let me show you what I did. Come over here with me. Look what I did, friends. My mom always said, don't put nothing to waste. Look at this. So these branches fell off and I put them in here, and you could see the leaves dried out, right, and all of that. But do you see this? This is new growth coming here. All these are new growth. So I think when I'm done, I'm gonna plant this in the ground and hopefully I get another plant from it. We'll see. Nothing wrong with experimenting, right? Alrighty, friends, and let's come on this side. So here we have our azalea. Look at it. Look at the foliage on here. So pretty and shiny. And then here's our cool peach Nandina in the back. Very excited about this area. I think it looks good. And then this is just an alocasia I have here. I'm waiting for the frost to hit it so that way I can overwinter the bulb. And then, as I told you before, right down in there is the bleeding heart that gets big and very flowy looking. So obviously I can't put anything too close to it. And in between, where you see in the dirt, I have a ton of daffodils in there. So I think this will really look pretty in the spring season. And at least I have two beautiful shrubs I love in the front here, and not the hostas. I love hostas, but I don't think they belong anywhere in my garden except the woodlands lane over there where we just came from, where I planted the hellebore. So I'm really excited about these two choices. And then let me take you in the front and show you the other Nandina that we planted together. Alright friends, so we're at the front and here it is. I am so excited about this space. Remember, this is where we had all the snapdragons here. And look at this, you can actually see the ground. It looks so much better. And before the frost comes, I'm gonna put some leaves around the base of the plants that we planted just to insulate them, because there's no mulch there. But then I'll get mulch next year and just mulch the area, right? But look how well this is doing here. Really excited about that. I hope you guys are doing well. Remember to get out there in your garden, assess your garden, see what it's looking like, and do what you need to do, right? Nothing is wrong with moving the plants, and now is the perfect time for that. I'm really excited about this. And that just made me think of this. Let me show you over here, friends. Over here, I think this is the banana daisy from Proven Winners. I love it so much. And this year, I don't think I saw any. They didn't bring any. I think it's called Amazing Banana Daisy, something like that. And I just love this, and it blooms for such a long time in the summer. And what I think I'm gonna do is come in here and divide some of it and then put it somewhere in the back at the new garden I told you guys about. So you are subscribed, so that way you can see my 2 new garden beds I'm making in the back. Yes, I'm doing it, friends. Yes, so that just reminded me I need to come in and take some of this out. So as I said, nothing is wrong with going around your garden, see what is what, and then move plants, do what you need to do. Now is the perfect time for that. And here we have 2 of the lupines that we did together. So those are gonna get really bulky like this. This guy here I did in spring from the winter sowing method. Yes. So once again, if you have lupine seeds around, go ahead and plant them in the ground. And if I have time, I may do a video for you guys what seeds you can plant now. I may do that if I have time, so that way you can get blooms for next year. Anyway, friends, thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next planting video. Yes, more to come. Take care of yourselves now. Cheers.